All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again here to close the weekend off and to start the week in another slate of wrestling coverage, which means a big wrestling show is ahead here. And they just had their kickoff to season 3, and they're going to get ready for another big show coming up here later this weekend. That is our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment, and certainly WCE has a lot going on here. And we are very honored once again to be joined with not one but two champions in the house here. And the first champion, Katalyst, a.k.a. James Marshall, retains his interstate championship, and certainly was a hard-fought way to retain that interstate openweight championship, but he did it certainly in impressive fashion against Darkfire and Nicholas Crenton, the new Messiah. And then once again, if he was ever doubted, and he always seems to be doubted, the pressure might have been on him, all the different comments, outside noise, but he found a way here to be able to retain his championship and some may say exterminate WCE of its rabbit problem. That was Killer Rabbit. That is Mr. Kraven Rage. They need no further introductions, but we're going to give it to him anyway. So with wait for it. Further ado here on the Sports Report, the number one global sports show. Pro wrestling stars here for our Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That is Katalyst, James Marshall, and Kraven Rage. The champs are here. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Robert.
I appreciate that there. Certainly, we were kind of waiting there for the at least some type of well wishes here, but we've got a ton of comments here. And I guess first, obviously, let's talk about how we got there. Obviously, we've got some historic notes to talk about here as well. Certainly, people already tuned in here on Sportswire Radio. We appreciate that. But Katalyst, I'm going to you. Now, everybody seemed like the smart money was on Nicholas Crenton. He had Vector. He had this spunk. He had everything going for him. He had the swagger. We saw what he did here before the match that went on here in the main event. We saw that in all of WC social media pages. But yet again, as if we should have ever doubted you, you found a way here to become a two-time WCE Interstate Openweight Champion. And for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, talk about how it feels to be reunited with your championship that you certainly made a name for around the world last year.
It feels pretty good to actually be reunited with the belt around my shoulder, and kind of have done it without some outside assistance with Sean Jovi making a save with Vector, interfering, trying to injure my shoulder. But unfortunately, I had to unleash James Marshall on Darkfire. Unfortunately, I did not have to do that. I didn't want to do it, but I had to unleash him just to get the belt back. But you got to do what you got to do, right?
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, right, you're the guy that's got the championship here, and certainly want to give some comments to people to say hello. Champion versus champion here. Skulls, the Soul Hunter. Skulls is always talking about WC. Just want to make sure we let Skulls continue to speak. Adonis Felios, the Drip King, is going to be also, I guess you might say, double main event here coming up next weekend here in WCE. And as Evening, Tom, Katalyst, and Kraven. Also, we have here those titles look nice, but will look better around my waist. Somebody here wants those titles. And a guy I haven't heard from in a very long time, John Bruce. John, how the hell are you? It's been ages since I've heard from you. He says we all are killing it. I appreciate that. And of course, Prince Charles is checking in here. And I'll come back to you, Katalyst, in a second. But Kraven Rage. You have certainly been, I guess, the rage against the machine, the rage against everybody here over the past several weeks on Sportswire Radio. Everybody left and right. Everybody said this and that. They said you weren't going to be able to find a way. Your days were numbered. The pressure, the adversity, the stress. You were dealing with all this pressure and forces, and yet you found a way to exterminate WC's rabbit problem in rather impressive fashion and convincing fashion. And certainly we saw what you did afterwards to Mark Packer. But for those that are listening and watching, I mean, talk about what you did last weekend and how you've continued to run WC's yard here and continue to be our all-out champion.
It's simple, Tom. I told everybody that I was going to slay that rabbit, and that's what I did. I slayed the rabbit, and I keep my word. I tell everybody they will acknowledge the ruler of the yard. Doesn't matter if it's a thing, person, animal. It doesn't matter if it's a baby. They will acknowledge the
No,
ruler
baby.
of the
Well,
yard.
we certainly let's not go that far. Animals, we understand. We are in Wisconsin. We all get that. But we get the point, though. Let's just say that, Mr. Rage.
So because I am the longest reigning defending champion in history.
You
So
certainly are. No, there's definitely you certainly are here. And, I'll actually get to that in a second. I do have some more people that have tuned in here. People are fired up. Hello, I believe Katalyst. This was somebody you saw across the apron there quite a bit. Certainly impressed a lot of people. That was Dark Fire, and this person here says, "Hello, folks. It's Endeku. Dark Fire is the man who won't die. It seems not surprising that James Marshall had to be released. Kraven made rabbit stew. Like Tampa would say, Katalyst finally got his baby back. The big question is, how long will he have it?" Well, okay, I think I kind of have an idea of who this individual is and where we're going here from Skulls. But Kraven, I'll certainly get to Katalyst in a second. But I know that everybody was thinking about just in how long this championship run has been. I know that certainly the new Messiah and others have asked and wondered. And I mean, are we getting close to a certain historic feat here that very few champions in this sport are coming close to?
yeah, we're approaching 300, and I think what the count is 359 days.
Wow.
As the champion, the longest champion, the best in the business.
Well, you're right up there. I mean, I think about some of the champions in all of professional wrestling. Josh Alexander in Impact relinquished his championship because of obviously injuries. MJF has not had the title nowhere long as near as you have. And certainly Alexander Hammerstone and MLW, who we kind of have a mutual, I guess, acquaintance to here in Vito Fratelli from the Wrestling Warzone, hasn't had the title that long. It just leaves, I guess, you and Mr. Reigns, really.
Yeah. Because we're the best in this business. No one's on our level. And I have told people that many times, And Dallas, congratulations. He became the first two-time interstate open weight champion. So, bravo. But Katalyst, honestly, do you think for 1 second that you are a worthy champion? Who did you even beat? Nicholas Crimson? Starfire? Remember last time you had that championship, what happened? You dropped the ball, didn't you? You dropped the ball to somebody I ran out this business.
Yep.
Well, I mean, look, it may not be true. I mean, certainly Nicholas Crenson, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Nicholas Crenson, I mean, this was all set up for Nicholas Crenson to win this championship, to finally slay the dragon, to finally end his drought. One of the longest droughts, I would dare say, in all of professional sports. I mean, Nicholas Crenson right now, the new Messiah, I mean, he's pretty much going to wind up being worse than the Buffalo Bills were when they lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls. The Atlanta Braves even won World Series in 14 years. They make the postseason in a row. I mean, you're thinking about all-time franchises, the Chicago Cubs until they finally won the World Series, the Boston Red Sox. I mean, the New York Rangers for the hockey fans here in the metropolitan area here in New York. I mean, Nicholas Crenson has to be the new choker. I mean, he's the new greatest choker. That's what it seems to me. But I mean, Katalyst, going off that, there is a point that Kraven Rage makes. I mean, Nicholas Crenson never wins the big one. I mean, he literally is almost a lock to lose in the championship matches. Darkfire, I mean, Darkfire, who has he beaten? I mean, sure, he impresses everybody. He puts on great matches, but he doesn't win either. I mean, after what Kraven Rage has done and has shut up all the naysayers, especially after what he did to that rabbit, I mean, how do you have a standing chance here in this match?
Well, do I have a chance? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but it all depends on what's going to happen in that ring. Because last time me and him met, it was during our first season, like 2 years ago, maybe, at the first Fighter Fright.
Yep. Almost 2 years ago, yep.
Yep. And if I remember correctly, there was some outside interference in that match from Nicholas Crenson. So you got one up on me on wins losses. So it's about time I get that win back.
Katalyst, let me tell you something. You're a fraud. That's what you are. You're a coward.
So why is he a coward? Whoa. He just got his championship back. Why is he a coward? Tell us why.
He's a coward because he want to bring out James Marshall just to finish something that he can't do. And to help him get his wins, he had to bring James Marshall out. So I'm telling you, I did it.
Well, Nicholas Crenson had Vector. I mean, to be fair, Nicholas Crenson had Vector. They were outside the ring. They were certainly trying to help him. I mean, did you have an issue with that, Kraven Rage?
That's Nicholas Crenson's crew. You know, so that's his crew. Nicholas Crenson, he's desperate.
Desperate would be an understatement at this point. I mean, he should never take a championship match at this point because he literally, I mean,
I told you last week, Nicholas Crenson is in the same position, the missionary position, over and over and over.
I mean, he literally, listen, I'm sorry to do this, and I love Nicholas Crenson. He is one of my favorites, but I mean, how does he show his face in WCE? Because he never wins a championship match. I mean, it reminds me of like Lex Luger would get all those title matches in WCW and the WWF, and he would never win, or he held the title for a week, a day. I mean, Nicholas Crenson at this point, I mean, you thought about Cody Rhodes and the disappointment? I mean, if I'm Vector right now, how do I show my face in WCE? I mean, they were supposed to have the week. They were supposed to be the group. I mean, listen, Zero Deus gets embarrassed by Jay Stereo, has tricks thrown on him. I mean, listen, I mean, Crenson, I mean, I don't know. I know this is off the beat here, but I mean, at least Katalyst ain't Nicholas Crenson, so maybe he does have a shot. He'll fight, whether it's James Marshall or not.
He would need James Marshall because I told everybody it's a different side is coming. And you will see that.
Okay.
Look at the damage that I have done.
What you did to that rabbit, I will say, in the damage to him, and I mean, the killer rabbit, whatever you might want to call the killer rabbit, probably should have just stayed down. I mean, it was about like 5 or 6 times in the match I was listening to the call, and it was basically like, why is Killer Rabbit still getting up? And I don't know what point was proved there, but you certainly were impressive. But I have a ton of comments here. People want to say hello, and they want to talk here. Nicholas Crenson here says Kraven almost at the year mark. Well, my math says by next weekend he will be at the year mark because we're at 359 days, right? So obviously here, yep, I see that. Hi from, I'm assuming Tampa. Darkfire's in Tampa. Is that how I read that? I guess hi from Tam. I guess Tampa would be the case. Speaking of Vito Fratelli, obviously my buddy Vito Fratelli, who's got like 9 championship belts. Kraven, that might be a guy you actually might want to step in the ring with because Vito's actually beaten some ex-WWE stars like TJ Perkins. You remember him in NXT and 205 Live, and I mean, he's defeated him and some. Speaking of Vito, he's joined the EWF roster. Thank you for the update with that. Prince Charles says Kraven made Killer Rabbit look like Roger Rabbit. Loved it. Bugs Bunny, you could have said also. Kraven Rage, you got lucky to get out of the Killer Rabbits trap. I don't know what match were you watching, Adonis Fellows. Kraven was impressive. I will certainly say that. But I have a comment here from WC Wrestling Championship Entertainment, which I want everybody to follow it. WCE Heat on Facebook and YouTube. The WCE owner has decided that Kraven Rage needs to be taught a lesson after his past actions and attacks on other roster members, officials, and his final disrespect after the match, by the way, his victory of attacking Mark Packer. I am hoping someone can bring this champion down a peg or two. So with that being said, this champion versus champion match will be a last man standing. May the best man remain standing. Katalyst, does this exactly go into your favor? Is this exactly the score that you need in order to have a shot here against Kraven Rage? Because certainly a lot of people were upset even with what Kraven did to Mark Packer, our commissioner. So, I mean, you've heard the news here. It's literally just broke as we're on the air. It's going to be now you and Kraven Rage in a last man standing match. Tell us if you're going to be that last man standing after this stipulation.
Well, me, James Marshall, whoever you want to call me, we don't have a very good record at last man stand matches, obviously. So that's another redemption I need to score. So it might be played into my favor since I have the most experience in those kind of matches, especially with the endurance.
Okay, well, I mean, you have been in Iron Man matches, though. I mean, Iron Man matches you have experience in, and you certainly held your own there. So I guess maybe this is a sign of that. I guess management thinks you're going to be the man to finally get a W on Kraven Rage. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to bring out James Marsh for this one, but I'll do my best for Mark Packer.
We'll certainly do it for Mark. Obviously, poor Mark Packer here, Kraven Rage. I mean, we're going to get to you in a second, but Darkfire says, Kraven Rage, you will fall. Well, nobody has fallen so far. And then he laughs here. I think he's laughing about Nicholas Crenson, who's been very quiet tonight. Very, very quiet. Someone get Nicholas a title belt from Walmart. Well, I got to be honest, that might be the only championship he's getting these days. He's going to have to buy one. It doesn't matter if it's at Walmart, wrestling, collectible stores, whether it's at Amazon, eBay, whether it's buying a foam championship belt, whether it's making his own belt. I mean, that's the only chance that Nicholas Crenson has of winning a title these days because his championship drought is certainly nowhere near ending anytime soon here. I say make it a cage match so no one interfere with Mark Clark. No, we have last man standing, Skulls. Skulls, it's last man standing. That's what we're going with here. Be lucky, Katalyst and Kraven, that I'm not a part of the true championship supremacy between the two of you here. Says the AIW champion. All right, Kraven Rage, you've heard here from management. They're putting you in a last man standing match. For those that are listening and watching, what do you feel toward that?
Honestly, I love it.
Why?
I love it. Why I love it? Because that's right up my alley. That's right up my alley. Look at the matches that have been 3 stages of hell. I buried Dash Andrews. TLC with the former interstate champion. And what happened? He ran out of this business.
Couldn't even hang with you guys. Couldn't play where the big boys are. And couldn't cut the mustard, basically.
I quit matches with Tyler Art. I'm ready for this. I hope, Katalyst, I hope you ready for this. Because what's coming is not going to be a prediction. It's going to be a spoiler. Because it's going to be a nightmare coming. You're not ready. So you better bring James Marshall. You better unleash him. Because if you don't, I'm going to beat the living hell out of you and put you back into Katalyst. And that you probably go back into the hole where the rabbit came at. And you might run away too.
Ooh, strong words there. I mean, even you, Katalyst, have to respond there to that because that's some strong commentary there from a rather confident champion.
Be careful, Kraven, because that overconfidence is gonna come back and bite you in nowhere.
It's not overconfidence, my friend. It's actually the truth.
But Katalyst, to be fair, as we're here on Sportswire Radio with our two champions from Wrestling Championship Entertainment, that is Katalyst, the first ever two-time interstate openweight champion, and our reigning nearly 1 year, soon to be 1 year champion for the WC All Outs title, that is Mr. Kraven Rage, and my name is the host of the Sports Report, and the owner of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. But Katalyst, to be fair, I mean, shouldn't the champion be as confident as he is right now? Because everybody here piled on him for weeks, week after week on Sportswire, right? Everybody said, it's over for Kraven. He can't do it. This guy skulls every video. Kraven, Rage, I'm coming for you. C2K cutting promos. Hey, guys, it's C2K. I'm going to make sure that Kraven Rage is going to be out like Y2K, and everybody else out there from all these different other companies, all these different outsiders basically said, Kraven who, Kraven this, Kraven that, but he took this rabbit who was apparently supposed to be here for not just Kraven, but everybody, and who knows what happened with that. I mean, so shouldn't Kraven Rage be as confident, as arrogant, and cocky as he ever should be?
He's gonna get his foot in his mouth, seriously, with all his overconfidence, this egotistical attitude he's got. Even though the championship's not gonna be on the line, neither of our titles are not gonna be on the line. I'll put him in his place.
All right, well, we're going to certainly find out here. I do have some more comments here. Our friends over at the IMF, the Iowa Midwestern Wrestling Federation here, which we're going to have coverage for Thursday night, Kraven, which you're going to be very interested. I know that Omen Black is going to be with us here. And Omen Black is a big specimen. I had a chance to watch one of his recent matches, and that's going to be right. I think we're on, about the same time here tonight that we're on. So about 11 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. Central time, I believe. I'm sure management can certainly let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's the time we agreed upon, and we're very much excited to have on Omen Black. And WC, please answer the door. We are knocking on it. I mean, Kraven Rage, Omen Black's going to be here Thursday night. I mean, are you going to knock on the door? If the door knocks, and are you going to answer it? Or anything you want to say to Omen Black or anybody else if you desire to?
Hey, like I told everybody, I have built this empire. This is my empire. I stand on the top of the mountain. There's only one number one, and you're looking at him. Katalyst will always be number two.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to certainly let Mr. Katalyst respond in a second, but Dogfire says Kraven isn't ready for Jack Squat, but I don't think anybody seems to agree with that, because Kraven Rage, after what Kraven Rage did, I mean, certainly made short work of the Killer Rabbit. Kraven Rage lose in the last man standing. Well, certainly Tyler, Captain Obvious here for us. Kraven, how deep do you want your grave to be? I mean, I don't think, Kraven, you're too concerned with Skulls these days, because Skulls has said July 1st, but, I mean, after what you did to Killer Rabbit, I mean, I don't even know how Skulls has a chance here. I'll say this. The IMF responds, empires fall, and if you step into the ring, Omen, you'd fall too. All right, well, I guess that could be something. I mean, Kraven, I'll certainly send a message for you, and I know you'll be tuned in here Thursday night. Were you about to say something, champ? Go ahead.
I've been watching them. They got talent. They do have talent. I've been watching them. They got talent. I know they've been knocking, but they knock on my door. They would acknowledge the ruler as well. Special Omen Black.
All right, well, we'll certainly find out. You know, Katalyst, maybe you have a point. Because come to think of it, right? Maybe this is exactly what Kraven Rage wanted. This Killer Rabbit, which was all bandyhooed here on Sportswire Radio. And I even had one of our followers that listens to us and a big supporter of ours was like, is he really facing a rabbit? And I mean, I certainly had people kind of questioning this left and right. And people, in fact, even before we went in the air, when we announced you guys coming on tonight, one of our listeners from California, by the way, not too far from Skulls, Anastasia Riznia, was saying, how could Killer Rabbit have even warranted a title shot? So maybe, Katalyst, there's a point here, because who did Kraven really beat? I mean, that last guy we spoke about who held that interstate title, I mean, basically ran away. He was afraid of Kraven. But you're actually somebody that in the last year, Kraven Rage really hasn't stepped in the ring with. I mean, he hasn't been there in somebody with your par. I mean, look at what you've done in stipulations: triple threat matches, elimination, Iron Man matches. I mean, doesn't matter if you're James Marshall or you're Katalyst. You seem to be the one guy that maybe legitimately is on Kraven's par. And I think, from what I've heard, even there are some people that say pound for pound in a wrestling ring, you're really the floor general in WCE. You're the guy, really, when it comes to in-ring ability, is the best guy in this business from WCE. I mean, what do you say to those points?
Yeah, it's to call me a general of all sorts is a very huge compliment. Yeah. But something's been bothering me. You call me number 2, Kraven, but when you, I, and the other person that we don't want to speak about, I consider you number 2. You're number 2, and you're basically the lap dog.
Laugh.
Put it simply, I'm better than you. Because consider the fact that it's been 2 years since we've been ring together. Look how much I've done since then.
Speechless there, Kraven. You want to say something? Is there something that's
Yeah,
you want to get off your chest?
Katalyst, my friend, you have been protected. But all that right there has been just protected by management and just gifted. Here, we give you Nicholas Crunson. Here, we give you Jonathan Pierce. Here, we give you this. We give you that. But look at the people that you have faced. Nicholas Crescent, choke artist, Darkfire. You really haven't faced somebody that's dangerous as me. The last favorite person that they had was Kodak Kid. And what happened to him? Bye bye. He's gone. Dash Andrews got buried. Nobody have heard of him no more. Last interstate champion. What happened to him? He ran away. You see how dangerous I am? I am the most dangerous man on this planet. You're stepping in the wrong era right now. So you better be afraid because when we step in that ring, 6 days away, 5 days away, next week, for that last man standing, I'm going to be standing over your dead carcass. And hell, I might even pick up your title and kiss to the camera goodbye and drop your title because I don't want it. I just want to prove to the world that I am the most decorated star in this business. I am this business. And there is not a man on this planet that can stop me. Look who I just run through. Killer Rabbit. A thing. And I just buried that. I got different people one after me. C2K, Golden Boy. I got Skulls that wants me. That rabbit was just a sacrifice of what is coming. And everybody in WC will be afraid. So just like you, Katalyst, you're gonna be another sacrifice. Because the last man standing you had with, let me see, Nicholas Crenson or Psycho Wolf. What happened? Did you win? No, you lost. You don't stand a chance. Management just put you in your own grave. Might as well call Church of Crimson and get a prayer from him that you will survive. Souls get in the grave for you, not for me, because that's where your soul will be at. Let's see how long you keep this title. I have kept mine almost a year.
All right. Well, I mean, will it be last rites for Katalyst? I don't know. Will Kraven Rage finally get a dose of his own medicine? Well, right now it's anyone's guess, but we are going to see a meeting of the champions here, and we'll also see another champion versus champion match. And Sean Jovi, of course, the RCW champion, successfully retained his title against Billiards, and Adonis Felios, the Drip King, our AIW champion. And we do have some more comments. Let's get to them here. The IMF says, Omen did knock on your door. Knock, knock, knocking on Kraven's door. Quote unquote, Mr. Axl Rose there for Guns N' Roses. Is Kraven still talking? Well, he's not talking now, the IMF, but we do have more people ready to take shots at Kraven Rage here. This individual also says, Kraven is laughable. He barely beat the rabbit. Kraven Rage hasn't stepped in the Mecca's yard. Eric Mecca is coming. I mean, Eric Mecca is a name we keep hearing a lot about, Kraven Rage. I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, are the Meccas coming for you? And what do you say?
If they coming, I don't see them. Like they playing peekaboo. They say, I'm coming. I don't see them. I'm not worried about them.
So you don't have no concerns about the Meccas. And the Meccas to you are just a figment of an imagination then, correct?
Just like a rabbit. Oh.
Okay, there. Fair enough. Touche. Adonis Felio says, best bet, Katalyst takes the W, come dead or alive in being the last man standing here. More knock knock from the IMF. I am here as the true ruler of the yard, and I'm not a coward hiding the truth behind a mask. That's Omen Black for us here, by the way. Omen Black, who's going to be our guest Thursday night, has appeared here, and those are his words. I mean, so Thursday night we get Omen Black's side of the story. And Skull says Kraven might steal Katalyst converter to add to his trophy. Interesting, I guess, thoughts there. I didn't know if Katalyst might agree, but if you are on Sportswire Radio, I hope that you give us a like and follow on Facebook at Sportswire Radio, and also we're on YouTube. A lot of new subscribers out there on YouTube. I really appreciate the support. Also, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player, and I'll be back tomorrow evening UK time with also a champion, another newly crowned champion from Championship Wrestling Entertainment, and that is also Mr. Big Cheese Logan, who won the CWE UK title. He defeated the Necessary Evil Palmer. Very, very impressed to have the Big Cheese back with us. He's going to talk about the future of CWE. He's going to talk about winning his first championship in a long time. Certainly makes Mr. Cranston certainly up there in the list of choke artists and championship drafts, but the Big Cheese is going to be with us here about 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. So very, very excited about that. Also, Thursday night, we get IMF coverage here with Omen Black. Excited to speak with Mr. Black. We'll get his side of the story, and we'll see here more comments. And also, I have another wrestler here, by the way. Don't know if you guys know him. He's the UWA World Heavyweight Champion, NGN Chase Sullivan in the house. You guys know a Chase Sullivan by any chance?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, well, if the champ wants to say hello, Certainly,
Well,
congratulations, Chance, and certainly the chance we'd love to have you on Sportswire if that's what you're here for. I'd love to speak with any new future stars and current champions. So you're in the right place, Chance, and if you like what you hear from us, please give us a like and follow on Facebook at Sportswire Radio. And anything you want to say, definitely to the guys, please do. Also, we're on YouTube at Sportswire Radio. We'd love to be in touch, but I do have some breaking news from Prince Charles, and I think we kind of touched upon it, but we'll reinforce it anyway. My sources are telling me that not only is Kraven Rage approaching 365 days, the title run would be a milestone record. Should Kraven retain in the last man standing match, history will be made. So I would assume here this would be a 1-year calendar run. And also the longest championship run in WC history. Is that what we're referring to here? Kraven Rage from Prince Charles? Is correct me if I'm wrong?
that's correct.
Well, the belt's not on the line, so either way.
And if the belt was on the line, Katalyst, I would retain it. And that is not a prediction. That is a spoiler.
Well, technically, didn't Katalyst make history first? Because last week, he became the first 2-time Interstate Openweight champion.
Yeah, but like I said, look at the history of that belt. It went from Jonathan Pierce to Katalyst to somebody that just dropped it off. You know, and look at the opponents Katalyst had to go through last season. He went to wars with Nicholas Crenson. Oh, thought that story was over with. But anyway, you know, he had a gauntlet match. Successfully did it. Went against you know who. And decided to go in, I'm just going to run away. Give me what I want. Give me James Marshall. I need James Marshall to acknowledge the ruler. I don't need Katalyst. I already defeated him. I need James Marshall. Give me what I want, Katalyst, right now. Acknowledge the ruler. James Marshall, I know you in there. Acknowledge the ruler.
He's not going to acknowledge Jack from you, Kraven.
Ooh.
I guess I have to beat the living hell out of him then.
Well, that's why this is going to be a last man standing match here. And we have a lot more comments here because people want to talk and they want to say hello. Omen Black says, Kraven, I'll go through anyone in the WC. Line them up and I'll knock them down like dominoes. Bring them on. Katalyst, Crenson, Adonis, Arc, Kodak, Darkfire, Zero, and Jay Stereo. So Omen Black seems to know a lot about WC. He has definitely scouted the roster. I will ask Mr. Omen Black a lot about this Thursday. Very, very excited to have the opportunity to speak with the star here of WC. So it says, Chance Sullivan knocking on your door for management. Also, management says, I'm knocking on your door too. And Omen Black says, I'll drop them on their stack of dimes they call next. What are you hiding, Kraven? I'm going to expose the coward that hides under that mask. You're no ruler of my yard. I'm the ruler of the yard. And speaking of people that really shouldn't have much to say right now, I think you both gentlemen can agree. Zero Days. More breaking news. My sources tell me Kraven is stinky. Now, by the way, I have to say, though, isn't this the same guy that still has tricks on himself? I mean, I thought tricks was for kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled a box of tricks and got kicked to the face.
Silly Zero.
Speaking of silly rabbits, right? Which way did he go? Which way did he go? I mean, Zero Deus and Vector. I mean, I don't even know if Vector has like any standing to comment. It should almost be like, let's go back to my background in college when I was in taking law. Basically, he would basically get the microphone and they would just considering like what he was about to say meant nothing. They would just cut his mic off and just say, get him out to the side. Filibuster him. That was the word. They would basically, Zero Deus should be filibustered after his,
I think they all back in church of Crenson praying.
Well, they're going to be praying because Crenson certainly has no championship shots anytime soon. He certainly has been very, very quiet tonight, Nicholas Crenson. Certainly, Vector had to have been the biggest losers. Everybody was saying Judgment Day was losers, but Rhea Ripley's got gold. I mean, Vector's walking around here with tricks all over themselves. And but that's here nor there. We'll come back to that. Breaking news: I just said I would knock them all down, and they said nothing, nothing. I mean, you guys want to respond to that? Because Omen Black is taking a very, very forceful charge here. And I mean, Thursday night though, you will guys have that chance. He's going to be in your guys' chairs, and I guess we'll find out, right? Maybe you guys will have something to say then, I suppose.
Bring your own damn chair.
Ooh. I think that's the response we were looking for tonight. So, Omen Black, the guys have basically answered. Bring your own chair. BYO.
Yeah, bring your own chair. And you might be running the yard, but you will never run this yard.
Ooh. Well, look at that last guy. You know what? That last guy that held the interstate title, I mean, the guy just, in fact, he's so afraid of being in this company that he doesn't even want to acknowledge that he got his butt kicked. He doesn't even want to acknowledge anything he did here because the guy was so thoroughly embarrassed in being in WCE. I mean, the guy's even a bigger loser than Nicholas Crenson. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, spoiler alert. I mean, he's a bigger loser than Crenson. I mean, at least Crenson fights. At least Crenson shows up. That guy didn't even have the heart and class to stay here and fight like a champion. So that's why he is who he is. Zero got milk. Yeah, that was a good one. I'll give you that much. Jovi versus Felios. Championship supremacy will indeed steal the show come next week at Dead Alive. All right, you know what? I'll ask you guys a question. We'll break this up here for a few minutes. Sean Jovi looked a little different last week. I think fair to say, right, fellas? It was a little bit more of a serious take, a little bit more of an attitude we saw in Sean Jovi, and even the attitude that Sean Jovi had in your match, Katalyst, and interfering and putting Nicholas Crenson in his place, as many feel here, and continuing his long championship drought. But Adonis Felios is on a different level when he has that AIW title. So who do you think comes away here in that kind of champion versus champion match with two outside wrestlers wrestling and defending two different championships in a WC ring? I mean, any guys think here on who may take away that match and anything else?
I think I put all my money on Sean Jovi on this one because he does have a different kind of tenacity and personality change over since seeing him at Luck of the Draw. Something's different, but I like it.
Well, you certainly should like it because some obviously say it helped you become that champion once again. But that's here nor there. Fair play. For you, Mr. Kraven, what do you think here, Jovi and Felios? Obviously, you're very familiar with both men. Certainly, Mr. Jovi more so. But Jovi looked a little bit serious, more serious than we've ever seen him, I think, in the WC ring. And the way he kind of put Nicholas Crenson in his place with that chair shot heard round the world. I mean, that chair shot was certainly one that we're going to be talking about, I think, for a long time. And Nicholas Crenson's probably still feeling the repercussions of that. He's going to feel it probably for another 17 years. So, I mean, what do you think here, Jovi and Felios?
I think Jovi is gonna take it. Yeah, he's coming out with more heart, more desire. Yeah, you can't challenge me because as long as I standing on the top of the mountain, you know. But he does have a rain check for one title that somebody's holding, which is their interstate.
Good point. Can't disagree with that.
You know, I see Jovi coming on top. Adonis, yeah, he's been training. He's been getting prepared for Dead or Alive. But Adonis is not ready yet.
Yeah, I mean, Adonis is going to have to prove a lot of people that he's worthy in this match. I know he's got the AIW title, and maybe, there is an adage, guys, that sometimes in championship matches or when somebody holds a championship, they go on a different level. Famously in basketball, there was a player, Robert Horry. I mean, you've looked at his career. Statistically, wasn't that great. But when he got a moment in the playoffs or in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Western Conference Finals, the NBA Finals, I mean, he might have been one of the biggest clutch players of all time. In fact, they called him Big Shot Bob. I mean, maybe Adonis Felios is that guy. We have a couple of wrestlers right now that we work with on Sportswire. One is a guy, Disciple. Disciple was kind of in Adonis Felios' spot. Not quite really a guy you might consider to win the big one. Then wins one title, wins another title, and is going on a run that's been one of the most impressive runs in the UK. So, you know what? Listen, I'll give him a shot, but he's going to have to prove a lot of people wrong here. Guys, you're not ready for Omen. You're not ready for anyone from the IMF. Omen Black says, bring my own chair. I'll bring the chair to crack your head with. That's some strong words there. Thursday night. We'll talk about it. GTS has a belt for a loser. It's called the loser belt. So does Nicholas Crenton get that belt? Because it might be the only belt he's winning, right?
Yeah, I can see that. James Marshall. I usually don't make promises. I make predictions. But I'm gonna promise you this. After our match, I promise you, because I noticed how's your shoulder holding up? Because yeah, you might have your little injury because obviously Nicholas Crenton cannot get the job done. But I might have to make a phone call to Lacey to tell her that make sure after this last man standing match that you be able to hold your son.
Well, did you really just say that, Kraven Ray? Did you really just invoke the other half of James Marshall? I mean, you've done a lot of things, Kraven Rage, but this might be below the waist here. I mean, Katalyst. I mean, you got to go out there and defend your son and defend Lacey there.
Careful, Kraven. That's one line you don't want to cross.
Acknowledge the ruler.
Oh my God! Did we just see it?
There
Is it really?
Yes. There he is. That's what I wanted. Yes.
Careful, Kraven. Because they're alive. I will make you my bitch.
Oh!
Chalice, I told you. There's a nightmare coming. Everybody needs to be afraid.
I'll be your nightmare. You can count on it.
I was definitely looking forward to seeing it. Because what you're going to witness is not, I'm going to smash you. I am going to destroy you. Because you are going not against the reigning, defending, undisputed champion. You are going against a beast. And you will witness that beast will be unleashed, at dead or alive. And I guarantee you, everybody will be afraid. You and the whole world of WCE. I told you that rabbit was a sacrifice and he unleashed something. Because you never encountered something like that, ever. You might have faced Nicholas Crenton, but you have never faced something like me. It's going to give you nightmares, my friend. Because what I'm going to do to you is more what Nicholas Crenton could ever done. Look what I did to Kodak Kid. Nobody heard of him. And that was just a little teaser of what I'm capable of doing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kraven Rage, even tonight on Sportswire Radio, you might have went just a little below the waist here and invoking James Marshall's family. We'll find out here. I'll move away with some of the IMF comments because I kind of get the point here. Prince Charles says, I got Jovi after that last show. He's definitely serious. Yeah, I mean, I think Sean Jovi certainly got momentum. And Prince Charles says what we've all said. James Marshall is back. But apparently, Kraven Rage, you awoke somebody else that's called you out. And he says, Kraven Rage, how are you, my friend? Don't worry, Kraven. C2K will be there. I don't know when that is, but apparently C2K is here, Kraven Rage, and I think he was fed up after what he saw and how you treated James Marshall's family just now, and he's here and he's making an example that he's coming to see you.
I'm not worried about C2K. C2K, I'm not worried about you, but he cannot see me right now. I'm not. You're not even on my level, C2K. But James Marshall, nightmares, fairy tales of winning will never come true. But nightmares always do. Remember that. That's what you will be seeing. It's a nightmare that's going to haunt you forever because I'm going to be standing over your carcass. Or maybe I'm going to blow a kiss at the camera to say goodbye.
You sure you want to do this, Kraven? Because even going after a man's family, it's one thing what you did to Kodak Kid. It's one thing what you did to Mark Packer. It's another thing what you did to that guy who ran away from WC because he was too scared to face off with the big boys here. It was even one thing what you did to Killer Rabbit last week. But it's another to have said what you just said here live on Sportswire Radio worldwide about a man's family. Are you sure you really want to do this and go that far, Kraven Rage?
Definitely. Because James Marshall, I told you, I am the champion around here. I am the man around here. You is always a number 2 champion. And you will be the number 2 champion. Because I will be the last man standing.
Well, we're gonna start.
You like to sell and put asses in seats. I don't. I don't care about the fans. I don't care about nothing. The only thing I care about is standing on top of this world. And I do that every single day I step into that ring. Stand on top of the world carrying the championship. Yeah, you are the 2-time interstate champion, the very first 2-time interstate champion. But that's the only championship you will ever hold. I already been an RCW champion. I held Jovi's title. I'm holding this. That's on my list next. And I will become the first time Grand Slam champion. And when I destroy you, then you can go back to Katalyst, playing hero. Because everybody loves a superhero.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely going to find out here about 10 or 15 minutes here with the guys, and certainly a fired up Kraven Rage, but maybe, just maybe, this could backfire against him as James Marshall has been unleashed, and we know what that means. We saw at the end of the match for the main event of last week's Luck of the Draw show when it came to that Interstate Openweight Championship, which our champion holds, becoming the first ever two-time champion. And while you're at it, I want everybody to follow our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment, please, at WC Heat on Facebook, YouTube, WCHeat.com, where you can go find out more information on where you can watch Dead or Alive. And we're going to have a double main event here, 2 champion versus champion matches. That'll be Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, the RCW champion, against the Drip King, Adonis Felios, for that AIW title. Then we will have also for the for the Interstate Openweight Championship also, and the All Out champion, Kraven Rage and Katalyst James Marshall, squaring off in a champion versus champion match. It is certainly a match that a lot of people tonight are certainly going to be fired up for. And we saw Sean Jovi's last match for against Billiards. I think I have 1,000 views now on YouTube. So right now, a lot of people are tuning into WC. So please make sure you go to WC Heat on Facebook, YouTube. That's the @ handle, so you can subscribe, like, and follow these pages. WCHeat.com for more information. Again, champion versus champion match, AIW champion Adonis Felios, RCW champion Sean Jovi, and also Interstate Openweight champion James Marshall against our all-out champion Kraven Rage. The unhinged comment from Adonis Felios. Go ahead. Kraven Rage, there will be hell to pay. IMF says, looking in those eyes of Marshall, you messed up, Kraven Rage. Hope that you get the butt kicking you deserve. Skull says, someone called the riot police. Well, we'll have to find out here, but I have a sense the tension here is brewing. And also, Skulls has a comment about the commentating at WC, but we're going to certainly make sure that we do a great job. And by the way, I like the commentating, by the way. Whoever did the commentating, I thought they did okay. Obviously, Prince Charles does a great job, but I did think the commentating was fine. But I get it here that both you guys don't like each other. So what I want to do here first is I want to give James Marshall the opportunity before closing thoughts to ask 1 or 2 questions to Kraven Rage before they meet in the ring next weekend at Dead or Alive.
I got no questions. All I'm looking at is a dead man.
Okay, straightforward to the point. Kraven Rage, is there anything else that you want to say here to James Marshall before next weekend, last man standing, main event, champion versus champion match?
Are you ready to sell your soul to the devil, James Marshall? Because I already sold my soul to the devil. Are you ready to meet? Are you ready to acknowledge the ruler?
Hell no.
Well, I would say right now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the top movies in the world right now is called John Wick 4. And the premise of the movie and the story is about a man who basically goes after, well, pretty much the table for basically killing his wife. And while Kraven Rage hasn't gone that far, I would say James Marshall could very well channel his inner John Wick and make sure that he is the one who is standing next weekend. We'll certainly see here. And before I get to one more question, Adonis Felio says someone is not going to walk out in last man standing, come dead or alive. Well, that's the way they call it, a last man standing, Captain Obvious. How much is the Kraven bounty, Katalyst? Well, you're going to be here July 1st, Skull, so I'm sure you might be the one that's going to find out. In the meantime, we'll certainly see here. But let me then give you guys both the opportunity here. So I'm going to go first with Mr. Marshall. I know it's going to be brief. But I want to ask you then, is there anything that you want to say to anybody else out there, anybody who's going to be watching this and sees what you're going to do and what you're going to unleash, as I think we might have a feeling for, in a rather personal way, toward Kraven Rage next weekend, main event, Dead or Alive?
All I gotta say is just watch. Watch the beating. I'm gonna hand out to Kraven Rage.
Okay, all right, fair enough here. I mean, certainly short, sweet, simple, and to the point. That's how James Marshall is. And Kraven Rage, I give you the same opportunity. What do you want to say out there to anybody who's going to watch or anybody that might after this want to go watch? And anything else here before closing thoughts?
James Marshall and everybody that's watching, like Sean Joe always say, you're going to be living on a prayer. You better call the Church of Crimson. You better call Jesus himself, because there is not a God is going to save you. I'm coming, and I am coming, and hell is coming with me, and I am going to destroy you. I am going to smash you. I am going to be the last man standing. And I guarantee you, you will acknowledge the ruler. You will utter those words.
Well, we'll certainly see. History indicates that Kraven Rage, certainly nobody has been able to put up a Rage Against the Machine to stop him here in the ring in just about the year here so far that he has been the champion. The man here is the ruler of the yard. But Katalyst is the first ever two-time interstate champion, and when James Marshall is unleashed, nobody's really seemed to have had an answer. So this is the match I think a lot of people are going to want to put a lot of money up to see. A lot of people are going to watch. And we've seen some big shows in the past get thousands and thousands of views here on our YouTube page, again, at WC Heat Wrestling Championship Entertainment. So certainly subscribe, like, follow, and support. And C2K says, I will stop him once and for all. Well, C2K, we'll certainly find out. But James Marshall right now certainly might want to give Kraven Rage another thing coming. We'll have to find out. All great stuff ahead. Really excited for next weekend show. We'll have more coverage of it next week on Sportswire Radio. So always excited to speak here on WC. And I will say one. Go ahead, Kraven Rage. Go ahead. What were
What
you gonna
dead
say?
man, James? Dead man
Ooh,
walking.
dead.
Man walking, James.
Well, I don't know. I mean, listen, we're gonna find out. Something tells me here, James Marshall, the look on his face these last 20 minutes could paint a different story. But Champ, Mr. Marshall, want to give you the floor. Want to give you the closing thoughts if you might like anything else you want to share, say, and certainly all eagerly anticipating to watch your match with Kraven Rage, a match that is a long time in the making here since the last one at Fight or Fright back in 2021. So anything else out there, my friend, floor is yours.
I got nothing to say.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough here. IMF says, good luck, James Marshall. Kraven Rage, you know the drill by now at this point. You've done this thousands of times. Did you cross the line even for your liking? I don't know. You certainly look like you might have for James Marshall's liking, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to say anything else you might want to say to us Skulls, C2K, Omen Black, anyone else in the locker room in WCE, and obviously congratulations on the 1-year calendar anniversary of your run here as the ruler of the yard. Obviously, still an accomplishment that very few people can say in this sport, to be a 1-year world champion. And in this business right now, I think the only guy that's got a run of over a year right now is Roman Reigns, obviously. So you get the floor, my friend. Anything else you want to share, say, and fire away.
Thank you for management for making this match happen. Everybody, fall to me.
Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty much what the last line is going to be tonight. Fall to me, and 1 year it's been in the making, and WC trying to make an example, trying to make a statement, actually makes a match that Kraven does make a point that when James Marshall and Nicholas Crenson won, Nicholas Crenson got a rare victory, but James Marshall was unleashed tonight, and James Marshall is in a mood that we may have never seen him in yet, especially after Kraven Rage, what he said going off the line, I think, going off that line, walking a line that we may never have seen here before. Not only in 4.5 years on Sportswire Radio, but maybe even in WC history. Before we get out of here, Adonis Felio says it's not over yet. This is just the beginning. And also, stay tuned one more time to WC social media pages because we'll have more match announcements, more stipulations, more news to break. So please like and follow our friends over at WCE Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And also stay tuned. Thursday night, we'll have more coverage here when it comes to pro wrestling with the IMF, Omen Black. Tomorrow afternoon, if you were here today, join us with Big Cheese Logan, big-time UK wrestling star, and certainly retains his first championship in a long time. Also, Friday, we're back with Dustin Hart from CCW and more. So, gentlemen, good luck out there in the ring. Certainly, we're all going to be watching eagerly to see what happens here in this last man standing match. And obviously, we're also going to be looking forward to watching Sean Dovey and Adonis Felios, plus much, much more. And thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity. And we look forward to speaking with you after the next show. And good luck, and we'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Okay, and last comment of the night, Adonis Felio says, thanks, Tom. It's still number one worldwide in all of pro wrestling and other sports. Yes, we do cover college basketball, professional basketball even, so we do a lot of things on Sportswire. Just about 600 followers now on Facebook, so I really appreciate that. YouTube, we're up in subscribers as well. Sportswire Radio, good night. Godspeed. Until next time, and Adonis Felios, good luck in your match with the resident rock star, Sean Dovey. Everybody's going to be anticipating that as well. So thank you, everybody. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, you go back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, also 8 p.m. British Standard Time with me and the new CWE UK champion, Big Cheese Logan. How we have WCE, we have CWE. So I don't know if you guys are related or not, but we'll find out tomorrow. But thank you, everybody. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I'm the man behind Sportswire Radio. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you